Good morning. Today is Tuesday, November 15th at 8:30 a.m. I'd like to welcome fellow commissioners, staff, guests, those watching from home. Thank you so much for taking an interest in your local county government. And with that, I will open up to public comment. Is there any public that would like to address the Finance and Physical Resources Committee this morning? All right, seeing none, I will close public comment. That will bring us to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Sparks, supported by Commissioner Wooden. Questions or comments or anything that's to be pulled from the consent agenda? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of passing the consent agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, please say no. That motion passes. That brings us to item number 3 from 63rd District Court. Al?
Action requested. Recommend to the Board of Commissioners to accept $114,858 from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning, administered by the State Court Administrative Office for 63rd District Court's hybrid DWI drug court, and to appropriate $114,858 to the 2022-23 Special Project Fund budget, and to authorize the board chair or designee to execute the agreement, approve extensions, amendments, and increases to the appropriation not to exceed 15% of the original award. In fiscal year 2022, the 63rd District Court secured a planning grant of $43,009, which was utilized to formally create a certified problem-solving court as to Resolution 10-28-21-103. Utilizing the planning grant, the problem-solving court built the foundation of the program, secured the necessary agreements with community partners, became operational in July 2022, and has a total of 6 participants. For fiscal year 2023, 63rd District Court received additional funding and will increase capacity over the next few years to continue the operations of the hybrid DWI drug court. This effort will allow the court to expand operations and sustain the expansion of the program. Funding will be used to promote public safety and contribute to a reduction in substance abuse and recidivism among nonviolent adult substance abusing offenders, reduce reliance on incarceration within existing correctional systems and local jails, and establish monitoring and evaluation measures that will demonstrate the effectiveness of the program. The agreement runs October 1, 2022 through September 30, 2023. Corporate Counsel will review and approve all documents as to form.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Sparks, supported by Commissioner Wooden. We'll take questions, comments, and discussion on this agenda item. Yes, Commissioner Sparks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just really excited to see another court. I like these problem-solving courts. They're very important for our community, so I'm really excited about that. Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner Bukowski.
Yeah, I agree with Commissioner Sparks, and, it's awesome that we have a veterans court, and we have a sobriety court, and we have this court and that court. How come the courts aren't problem solvers? What's wrong with the court system that we have to have a special court to solve a problem as opposed to just adjudicate people, and is that what the courts are built for? And so we need a special court if they need to have some humanity rolled in. So I know those are a lot of complaints. Luckily, I tend not to do things wrong, so I don't have an experience in the court. But those who do have a pretty dehumanizing experience, allegedly. So again, I totally agree with Commissioner Sparks that we do these things. I don't know what kind of fundamental alterations of our court system needs to happen. This isn't the opportunity to do such stuff, but I'll just smart off on a cold Tuesday morning. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please say yes. Yes. All those opposed, please say no. That motion passes. That brings us to item number 4 from Kent County Community Action. Al?
Action requested. Recommend to the Board of Commissioners to accept and appropriate $237,186 to the 2023 Coronavirus Relief Fund for the Sarah Housing Stability Services Grant, contingent upon execution of a contract amendment, and to authorize the board chair or designee to execute the grant agreement, approve extensions, amendments, and increases to the grant appropriation not to exceed 15% of the original award. The Heart of West Michigan United Way has made $237,186 in federal pass-through funds available for Kent County Community Action to administer the Sarah HSS grant. Heart of West Michigan has surveyed Sarah recipients to understand the results of the assistance provided to date. The data gathered indicates that half of the Sarah recipients now have stable housing. However, half are still experiencing unstable housing circumstances. To date, the Sarah program has distributed $51.8 million in assistance to 16,465 individuals from eligible households within Kent County who reported having difficulties making timely payments of rent and utilities due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The state of Michigan established the Sarah HSS grant, which will fund housing stability services after the Sarah program services conclude in December 2022 within Kent County. Housing stability services includes case management services focused on future client needs, landlord engagement negotiation, housing navigation services, connection to legal services, interpretation services, and financial counseling. The grant term is January 1, 2023 through September 30, 2023.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wooden, support by Commissioner Bukowski. We'll take questions, comments, and discussion. Commissioner Bukowski?
Why, thank you, Chair. It's great that this occurred. We point out that 16,465 individuals were supported in this. I don't know if those are households or individuals.
Individuals.
Okay, so it could be, I mean, I just did the quick math, and it's $3,146 per individual. You know, not taking admin off or anything like that. The other question, probably more significant for me, is do we know who we wrote these checks to? Because we didn't write it to Mr. or Mrs. Smith, the resident. We wrote it to Jones, not related to the chair, who happened to be the landlord, correct?
Yes, in most cases, the checks were written directly to the landlord.
And that was Mr. Smith.
No, Smith was a resident, Jones was the landlord. So do we know how many landlords received checks?
I do not know that off the top of my head, no. But
Okay.
there would be a way to track that.
Okay.
We could get that figure.
And I mean, the number is irrelevant, not irrelevant, but it's not that much needed at this moment. But again, we like to point out that some people might say, these 16,465 people, if they just got a job or a second job, they would have been able to take care of themselves. But, but the money goes to landlords. So, I mean, the landlords actually reduced a lot of stress in their lives because they likely would have had to evict somebody. That's a pretty long, torturous process. And what kind of chaos would we have had? So, I mean, again, this $51.8 million had a lot of positive impact in our community. However, most of that positive impact happened to landlords who likely don't live in the neighborhoods where these homes were. So, I mean, maybe that would be a cool map to see just dots, not addresses, of course, dots where the residents were and dots where the landlords lived, just to see who owns what property, who really got this $51.8 million. Of course, the 16,000 folks got the benefit of it. They got to stay in a warm, dry place. Day like today, that's beneficial. Didn't have to worry about being evicted. Huge, huge upside. But again, the statistics we focus on miss a big part of the picture. Well, what are we really doing with our money? We're paying landlords. Not a bad thing, a real thing. So enough for the moment for me.
Okay, anyone else? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please say yes. Yes. All those opposed, please say no. That motion passes. That brings us to item number 5 from the Parks Department. Al?
Action requested, recommend to the Board of Commissioners to accept and appropriate an additional $120,500 from Caledonia Township and transfer $120,500 from the Pioneer Trail West River Drive Connect Project to the Thornapple Riverbend Green Space Acquisition Project in the 2022 CIP Fund budget. The Parks Department has been working with Caledonia Township to expand the county park system in southeast Kent County. The Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund awarded the Parks Department a grant to acquire 32 acres from the Chrisman family, which will add to the existing 207.9 acres comprising Thornapple Riverbend Green Space. This acquisition includes 690 feet of riverfront property. The board accepted the MNRTF grant and approved the funding for the Thornapple Riverbend Green Space Acquisition Project via Resolution 722-2166. At that time, the estimated project cost was $671,000, with DNR Trust Fund covering up to $469,700, $134,200 from Caledonia Township, and $67,100 from Kent County. Property values and appraisals have since fluctuated, resulting in an actual project cost of $912,000, requiring an additional $241,000 to close on the property. Caledonia Township has agreed to contribute an additional $120,500 toward the project, with the remaining $120,500 proposed to come from available funds in the Pioneer Trail West River Drive Connect Project Fund in the CIP Fund. The amended project cost allocation would be $469,700 from MNRTF, $254,700 from Caledonia Township, and $187,600 from Kent County.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Bolter, support by Commissioner Bolkowski. We'll take questions, comments, and discussion on this one. Seeing none, all those in favor, please say yes. Yes. All those opposed, please say no. That motion passes. That brings us to item number 6 from the Administrator's Office. Al?
Action requested, recommend to the Board of Commissioners to allocate $11,913,908 in senior millage funds for fiscal year 2023 as recommended by the Area Agency on Aging of Western Michigan, Inc., to approve the agreement for administration of senior millage services with AAAWM and to authorize the board chair or designee to execute the agreement. The AAAWM holds contracts with 31 agencies to provide services with funding from the Kent County Senior Millage, which was approved by voters in August 2022. Under the terms of the contracts, the funding level is evaluated annually based on new program proposals, current year operations, and available funding. In mid-October 2022, the Kent County Senior Millage Review Committee evaluated fiscal year 2023 funding requests and made recommendations regarding funding for each service. The recommendations were forwarded to the Area Agency on Aging Executive Committee on October 24, 2022, which is now recommending them back to the county for approval. The county proposes to enter into an agreement with AAAWM to serve as a senior millage administrative entity for development, coordination, implementation, administration of the service delivery system for millage-funded programs for senior citizens. The AAAWM would receive 4.5% of budgeted services for administration of the millage. Assistant Corporate Counsel will review and approve the senior millage administrative services agreement as to form.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? Moved by Commissioner Sparks and support by Commissioner Bolter. We'll take questions, comments, and discussion on this one. Commissioner Bolkowski?
My only comment is that I'm going to abstain again because disability advocates get significant resources from this. So that's what I'm going to do today to err on the safe side.
Okay, anyone else? I just like to add what a great process this is for the county. It's been a role model for other millages. I've sat on this committee. It is very thorough and detailed. It allows a true, proper allocation of the funding to the different entities that can provide the services. We're very lucky to have this in Kent County. With that, with an abstention, I'd like to ask for a roll call vote. Would you please do a roll call vote?
Commissioner Wooden,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Sparks. Commissioner Womack, Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner Antor, Commissioner Bolkowski,
Abstain.
Commissioner Bolter, and Chair Jones.
Yes.
I can't do math this morning, apparently. You have 5 yeses and 1 abstention.
This motion passes. Right, it passes with the 5 yeses. Good, just double checking. That will take us to item number 7, also from the Administrator's Office. Al?
Action requested. Recommend to the Board of Commissioners to appropriate an additional $323,468 to the 2022 Senior Millage Fund budget from the Senior Millage Fund reserves. Funding from the Senior Millage provides services such as meals, transportation, healthy aging programs, legal services, prescription assistance, weatherization, and in-home care. The Area Agency on Aging of Western Michigan administers the senior millage and contracts with agencies that provide services and programming. The Board of Commissioners approved $13,309,835 for the 2022 service plan via Resolution 11-18-21-113. It is requested that an additional $323,468 be appropriated from Senior Millage Fund reserves to the 2022 Senior Millage Fund budget for providing additional services and programming in 2022.
Is that it, Al?
Yes.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wooden and support by Commissioner Sparks. We'll take questions and comments on this one. I'm sure Commissioner Bolkowski has a comment. Here it comes.
Yeah, well, I'm going to abstain again.
There we go. Okay. Anyone else with questions or comments on this one? All right, seeing none, I'm going to request a roll call vote again, please.
Commissioner Wooden,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Sparks, Commissioner Womack, Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner Antor, Commissioner Bolkowski,
Abstain.
Commissioner Bolter, and Chair Jones.
Yes,
You have 5 yeses and 1 abstention.
that motion passes. That will bring us to item 8 from the Bureau of Equalization. Al?
Action requested. Recommend to the Board of Commissioners to approve the amended 2022 apportionment report. The General Property Tax Law, PA 206 of 1983 as amended, outlaws the responsibility of the Board of Commissioners with respect to the annual apportionment report. At its meeting, October 27, 2022, the Board of Commissioners approved the 2022 apportionment report. On November 8, 2022, Rockford Public Schools voters approved an additional operating millage of 3 mills to restore millage lost as a result of Headley reductions, which requires the apportionment report to be amended. Attached is the 2022 apportionment report as amended, as prepared by the Bureau of Equalization.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? Moved by Commissioner Bolkowski and support by Commissioner Sparks. We'll take questions and comments on this one. Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please say yes. Yes. All those opposed, please say no. That motion passes. That will bring us to Commissioner Miscellaneous this morning. Is there any Commissioner Miscellaneous for the Finance and Physical Resources Committee? All right, with that, we are adjourned. Our next meeting is December 6th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m.